on the Eagle Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to the EWU Athletics Flight Report, presented by TDS Fiber. Now, here's your host, the voice of Eagle Athletics, Larry Weir.
This is TDS Fiber Flight Report for this week. We are talking basketball. Head men's basketball coach David Riley will join us in a little while. We'll have women's basketball player Milly Knowles here, but we start with Eagle women's basketball coach Joddie Gleason. Coach, when we talked last week, you were hoping that the game against Walla Walla on Saturday would give you an opportunity to play lots of people on your bench and get some of those kids a little bit of run time, and that's exactly what happened. Nobody played more than 23 minutes in this game. Only two young women played more than 20 minutes. You were able to rest Jamie Loetta as well, and you picked up a good victory on Saturday.
Right. We, had a tough schedule for this week with Gonzaga, Boise State, and then Cal, so we wanted to try to get a home game in the middle of all those. And fortunately, Walla Walla agreed to come over and play us. And they really battle. They play hard. They have some really good guard play. So we were happy with the result of the game. And we felt like our first group did a nice job of, executing, kind of setting the tone and pace of the game in the first half to build that lead. And then we were able to really play a lot of people and play everybody that was eligible and ready to play and really get them some valuable time because, they work just as hard. They come to practice every day. They're getting up the extra shots and we just sometimes don't get that game experience. And so we were really happy with that.
And if you have an injury, it's always good to know that, somebody can step in. And in this game, you gave Jamie the game off, but Andy Zylak comes in and scores 11 points and passes for 6 assists. She started as a true freshman, but since Jamie's come into the program, she's kind of been forced into a backup role, but she showed that, if you need her at some point in time, she can give you valuable minutes at the point guard.
Right. Andy is always ready. She is a, consummate team player. She's one of the first ones to high five Jamie. And even though they're, that same position, she's just positive and ready to go. And we just love her for that. And then she, came in and had 5 of those assists in the first half. She was really running our offense well and finding Bella quite a bit. And that was a focus of ours, was to try to get the ball inside. And so, Zylak just did a great job of, running the show for us. And as we knew she would, she's just a baller. She's always ready. She's in the gym all the time, getting extra shots up. And whether she plays a few minutes or, the entire game, we know that she's ready to go.
And you mentioned the name Bella. That's Bella Hayes, your 6'4" redshirt freshman post, and she had a big game for you, 15 points. She also had a good game coming off the bench against Boise State. We are seeing her, she gives you, Milly has played very well in the post for you, but she is undersized at 6'1". Bella Hayes is 6'4", and these days 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" posts in women's basketball. It's kind of odd to say somebody 6'1" is undersized, but the taller posts are in vogue now, and Bella matches up maybe a little bit better.
Right. We brought her in. For that reason. There's a ton of really tall women in our conference and in our preseason, and we needed some size to match up both offensively and defensively. And Bella's injury last year was, heartbreaking. She probably would have really, battled Milly for time and would have shared time a lot with her. But, now she's just getting back into the flow of things. She had another minor procedure before the season. And so she was out again and probably only practiced now maybe 3 weeks. And so, it's taking her a little bit to get back into the swing of things. But boy, she played well for us against Boise State, who has 2 really good post players. And then again, followed it up with a great game against Walla Walla. We were really go into her inside, as you could see with her, she was 7 for 8 from the field. And then, Cal obviously is big and who we have coming up and that's why she's here. We need her in there and she's doing a great job for a, freshman that redshirted but didn't get to practice at all last year.
Your team assisted on almost every basket that you made in that game against Walla Walla, and that wasn't just the out end against Walla Walla. You're assisting on about 60% or thereabouts of your baskets so far this season. So this team's passing ability is something that's fun to watch.
Right. It's something that we really work on and preach probably more than you can work on it, because it's all based on reads and what the defense does. But we just really talk about making that extra pass. We talk about attacking to draw two and then finding your open teammates. We think that we shoot the ball really well, and if we can get inside out looks, those are typically a higher percentage than created looks from the perimeter. And so this team just does a great job. We have some really good teammates who will set others up and will give up the points just to get a better look for their teammates. So it's something that we really preach and we're really proud of, and something that we do really well. Our assist to turnover ratio is one of the tops, and that's something because our guard play is so strong.
Yeah, you're averaging 17-ish assists per ball game and only, less than 12 turnovers per game. The list of players who have more turnovers than assists on your team is pretty short.
Right. It's nice to see, right? And we don't play slow. It's not like we're walking the ball up. We want to get out and go in transition when it's there. And sometimes when you do that, the ball ends up flying out of bounds a little too much, and making me a little upset. So they do a nice job of both being able to play fast, but also recognizing when it's time to run something. And it's led by Jamie Luetta. When you look at our overall stats, she's just kind of sees things, just has that court vision that is elite, and she will find open teammates and be able to get by people with her athleticism, and then just finds open teammates and they can knock down those shots.
All right, so the defense is spot on this season. You're allowing opponents about 37% shooting from the field, 29% from the three-point line, less than 57 points per ball game. Defensively, is there anything that you need to tweak or change as Big Sky Conference play starts to get a little bit closer?
We always are focusing on rebounding. That GU game really exploited. They really exploited that, and it's something that, as a team, we felt like was probably the weakest link from last year. And we are, leaps and bounds ahead of where we were last year, but it's always the area where we can always improve, especially the higher level teams that you play, or in our preseason, or the top teams in the Big Sky are always the teams that rebound. And so that's a focus for us to just make sure we just talk about the rebounding circle, where we, make sure we are extending that rebounding circle where you're blocking people out, creating more space, and then going to get the ball is the most important factor. But that's probably the area where we always are looking to improve.
And then offensively, obviously not very many turnovers. You're passing the ball well, shooting the ball 36%, basically from the three-point line. Is there anything offensively you want to improve upon as conference play nears?
In a few of our games, individual games more, our three-point shot was pretty good, but our overall shooting percentage wasn't as high as we would like. So I just think sometimes because we like to attack the basket, and sometimes we will take shots that maybe aren't the best option, but we still want those attackers to make sure they are getting to the rim, because that, is kind of what we're all about, and it forces the defense to rotate. But it's just making those decisions where, am I open, or should I give it up and allow somebody else to go? But we do settle for some of those that are a little tougher on occasion, and we just have to recognize that when maybe we haven't scored for a minute, we have to look to use action instead of just trying to go off the bounce.
All right, a big test for you coming up on Friday. You play at Cal. Tell us a little bit about the Golden Bears.
Right. They're really good. They just, took Gonzaga to overtime and lost. They had, they were ahead toward the end of the game. They had chances to win for sure. They're big and physical, but they have a bunch of transfers on their team. So it's kind of, I think that they're just going to keep getting better and better. They have, their point guard's been there the whole time, McIntosh, but then there's a bunch of other transfers, whether they transferred this year or last year, up and down the roster. There's a lot of those. So I just think that, anytime you're playing Pac-12 teams, they're going to be more physical. They're going to be bigger. They're going to kind of, pound it in and rebound pretty aggressively. So those are some of the keys that we have to make sure we try to match up with.
Early game time on Friday, 11:30 in the morning, and then next week, both your games in Las Vegas are early games comparatively. Noon game times. Does it concern you to play middle of the day?
No, we, definitely tweaks with your routine a little bit. I think that, the fact that all three are almost at the same time will be beneficial for us. You'll kind of get that rhythm of what time we're going to eat breakfast, watch film. You don't really get a shoot around when you have those early games, so you kind of adjust that a little bit. Our team just goes with the flow. They're going to be ready no matter what time of day it is, and I think it does help us. Tournament time, right? There's always the first two games. The first one starts at noon, and I think the second one's at 2:30 in the Big Sky tournament. So that's why we have these type of tournaments and early games and all types of situations just to help us for that Big Sky tournament down the stretch.
All right, next week you are in Las Vegas for an interesting tournament. It's a completely neutral court thing. You're playing Presbyterian on Thursday, December 21st, and Wyoming on Friday, December 22nd, so it's a complete neutral court situation. Nobody has any home court advantage. Those games are going to be interesting probably because of that.
Right, it's at a resort there, and I haven't been there, but Coach Brandon on our staff has, and I think Jamie Loetta has played there when she was at ASU. So we have those guys that have been there before, but it will be completely neutral. You never have that I guess noise or home court advantage with bands and all of those kinds of things. So I think that it'll resemble a little more of the Big Sky tournament where you play back to back. It's a neutral court. Sometimes you're playing early. All those kinds of things. So that's why we like to go to these tournaments. It's a MTE, so it allows us to play a few extra games on our schedule, just to help us prepare. And it's a great, team building and team bonding to go on road trips. So, we have all these road trips in a row, but we like it. We feel like we, get gel together even more. We get to do some fun things as well, or with the early games. That means that we have some evenings and whatnot that we have a little bit of time, so we'll get to maybe explore a little bit, which you usually don't get to do very often.
Coach, thanks for the time as always. We wish you good luck on Friday against Cal and next week in Las Vegas, and we'll talk to you again prior to the Big Sky Conference season starting. Have a Merry Christmas.
All right. Thank you. Happy holidays to you and to everybody else, and go Eags. That's
Eagle head women's basketball coach Joddie Gleason. When we come back, forward Milly Knowles, 6-year student out of England, will join us on the TDS Fiber Eagle Flight Report here on the Eagle Basketball Network from Learfield.
George Gee Buick GMC is proud to support Eastern Eagles football. We're your locally owned dealer with excellent customer service and a friendly staff. Right now, get great offers on the all-new GMC Sierra, featuring a 2.7-liter turbo high-output engine delivering 310 horsepower. See our inventory of Sierras just off I-90 at George Gee Buick GMC, the top volume Buick GMC dealer in Washington State. Visit GeeBuickGMC.com.
Come visit The Plains, a 9-hole golf course and practice facility with 2 full-length practice holes, a 60-yard wedge area, putting green, and driving range. We are also now home to the new Plains Public House, a great place to catch the game and grab a drink. Located at 9810 West Melville Road, Cheney, Washington, just 10 minutes from downtown Spokane. To find out more information, go to theplains509.com. That's theplains509.com.
All right, welcome back. TDS Fiber Flight Report for this week, and it's time to talk to Milly Knowles, Eastern senior basketball player out of England. So I want to ask you, you've been in the U.S., this is your 6th year in the U.S., so you've been here for, over a quarter of your life at this point. Are you more American, or are you still more English?
I think if you ask my American friends, they'd say I'm more English, but if you ask my people and family back home, they think I'm fully American, full American accent, everything. When
you go home, do they ever, see you doing something that's very American that you used to maybe do English-wise, and they're saying, "What are you doing, young lady? What have they done to our proper girl here?"
Yeah, they fully talk back to me in like a proper country American accent. Like that's what they think I sound like, but I don't think so yet. But
all right, so how much fun are you having right now playing with this team? The whole team was back from last year, basically, and how much fun are you all having right now together?
Yeah, it's awesome. We're like most teams talk about being a family, but we really are a family, and we have real sisterhood within the team. So it's super fun every day getting to play with your best friends and your sisters, and also we're winning games, so which makes it even more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I just, the times that I've had to see you play this year, not you personally, but your whole team, meaning, there's a lot of smiles, there's a lot of joy. And have you ever had a situation, maybe outside of school in England, where the whole team basically has returned from one year to the next?
No, never. So I moved around schools in England, so I never really often got to play with the same girls for more than 1 year. And same when I played at the national level, we only really played with each other for about 3 months of the year and played about 3 games. So it's really unique, but super fun. It's great to have like the big amount of experience.
When you look at this team, there isn't a whole lot that you don't have on this team. You've got guard play, you've got shooting ability, you've got scoring ability from the low post. This team plays well defensively. Obviously, the experience end of it, you guys have a lot of. You've been undersized in the post, but now you've got bigger posts like Bella Hayes into the program as well. So your feeling about this team and the ceiling this team has for the conference play starts in just about 2 weeks.
Yeah, like you said, like we have so much depth, so much talent, so much versatility. When we come across different teams, we see like different things. Like Walla Walla, they had a super quick post, and then other teams we've played have been like super tall girls, things like that. But we always seem to match up great with them. We bring something new to them as well, so it's great.
All right, so you just played Gonzaga last week, and that had to have been a disappointing end for you guys because you thought you had you were ahead and just couldn't quite hang on in the end. But they played Cal last week, and now you play Cal on Friday. So did you pay particular attention to that Gonzaga-Cal game last week?
I was watching. I was keeping up. Cal was ahead, and then Gonzaga came back and won, which they've done in a couple games. So they're a good team that they fight for sure. But yeah, it's exciting. That doesn't really mean anything. We have to go out there, play our best. Just because we beat Gonzaga doesn't mean we'll beat Cal. Not just because we nearly beat Gonzaga, we were there with them, doesn't mean that we'll beat Cal. But I'm excited for that game for sure.
Do you enjoy playing at the big schools, whether it's Cal or Washington or Washington State or Oregon or whoever it happens to be, when you guys have them on the schedule? Do you enjoy those games against the upper level teams?
Yeah, I think it's just a different atmosphere. It's a huge stadium. They have crazy facilities. The fans are great. It's great to play in front of those big crowds and in those big stadiums. It's super fun, yeah.
And then you guys get to go down to Las Vegas and play in a tournament there. Have you been in Las Vegas? Have you played in Las Vegas before?
No, I've never played all been to Las Vegas, so I'm really excited for that, especially with it being before Christmas. I think it'll be a good way to finish off into the Christmas break for sure.
All right, so what are you doing school-wise at this point in time? Are you just hanging on as far as classes go, and then you're off to your next challenge, or are you into a master's program? Explain what your class schedule looks like, and what's ahead for you here.
Yep. So I'm in my first year of my master's program. It's a 2-year program, political administration. And yeah, I'm taking classes right now, have 1 more year left. So I'm just plodding along with that. School's good though. I did well this quarter, and I really enjoy it. I'm looking to do something within like the public administration, public policy area of work. So hopefully this will lead me into that. So yeah.
So will you stay in Cheney next year and finish that up?
I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, but my plan is to definitely stay in America, whether I finish school or come back in a couple of years and finish school. There's a new program now with student visas that you get to work for a year without having to have all the stressful visa sponsorship and things like that. It's basically like a free year to be in America and work within the field of whatever your major was. So that'll be great to utilize that and get some work experience because, with playing basketball majority of my life, I've been really limited to be able to get work experience. So that'll be helpful to get that year to try and set me aside from other candidates when I start looking for like a real career. For sure.
Well, and you've been going to school your whole life, so a year away from school might not be a bad idea as long as you go back and get that last year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for no more homework, put it that way, yeah.
Is professional basketball at all a thought for you overseas, maybe going back across to Europe and trying to do that? Is that at all a possibility?
No. I don't think so. I think I'm ready to start my like career and my life after basketball. Yeah.
Is it partly just because of the wear and tear over the years? I mean, are you kind of, there's some miles on your body. You've been doing this for a while. Yeah, for sure. Like I'm a 6th year. My body is definitely feeling like a 6th year too. But not just that, basketball has been so much of my life now that I'm ready for a change and something else, Yeah. Is there anything still that you miss from England that you just don't get here in the U.S.?
Food, English food, and different shops and things like that. Yeah, but the food for sure. I miss good English fish and chips on the beach and an English roast dinner. When we had Thanksgiving last month, English roast dinners top American roast dinners for sure.
All right, so what is an English roast dinner? Is it a roast beef and different things with that?
So it's any kind of roasted meat, whether it's beef, chicken, turkey sometimes, but we don't really have turkey like that. Roast potatoes, all different veggies, and then gravy, but not you guys' kind of gravy. It's more like dark and a bit more watery. That sounds gross, but it's amazing, I promise you.
All right, very good. Milly, thanks as always for the time. We appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of this season.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That's Milly Knowles. Back to talk men's basketball. Head coach David Riley joins us prior to their game Wednesday night at home against Portland Bible College. It's next on the TDS Fiber Flight Report on the Eagles Sports Network from Learfield.
When you work around here, your day can go all over the map. You need a truck that takes on any task and keeps working hard no matter what crops up. Smart and tough trucks from Corwin Ford make your work easier, whether it's finding your destination or getting to work once you're there. So load up, head out, and no matter where you tow, you'll be on track to get the job done. Corwin Ford, family driven for over 100 years.
Magnuson dribbles over to the left wing. Finds Eric Strip, pushed out to 18 feet. He'll baseball a pass out. Kyman, open three, right of the key. Rang it up. Kyman, his fourth of the game. 71-62 Eastern Washington, 1:40 remaining to play. Huge triple by Jake, his fourth. Welcome back. Flight Report presented by TDS Fiber. Time to talk men's basketball now as head coach David Riley joins us, coming off a good win against Air Force Academy on Saturday. And, you guys hadn't played from ahead really in a close game this year, Coach, and I thought that was the main thing that you can glean out of that Air Force game. Not only did you get the win, but you protected the lead, and it might not have been perfect, but you still got it done.
Yeah, it's great to learn those lessons when you can walk away with the W. It was a really, really well played defensive first half for us, and just proud of our guys for locking in. But now we got to learn how to do that for 40 minutes.
And offensively, you guys shot the ball better than any team that they had played against all year. So, you shot several percentage points higher and made more threes. So outside of the turnovers, offensively, you guys were pretty good, at least in the first half and from the three-point line all game.
Yeah, no, I thought we took good shots, and we definitely turned it over too much. But the big message today in film with the team was that games and championships, for that matter, are won in the paint. And we did a great job on the defensive side. We held them to 38% from two. We had multiple guys in the paint every time they were trying to score at the rim. And then on the flip side, we shot 50% from two. When we got a paint touch offensively, we shot like 60-something%. And it's just all about winning that game in the paint. The threes are going to fall. They hit some tough threes late. But just making sure we dominate that area, and we did. But then you can go lose games in the possession area too, and so that was kind of the flip side to it. We turned it over too much, and we let them get too many offensive rebounds. So kind of the possession game was theirs, but the percentage game was ours.
All right, so as far as the turnovers go, that is something that you guys really. Ellis is a traditional point guard, but a lot of times he's not the guy bringing the ball up the floor. Has that been part of the deal? Where last year you had Tyrese, and he was maybe a little more natural at the point than maybe Cedric or some of the other guys that you have this year. Is that part of the deal?
Well, I think by the end of last year, it was tough to tell who. When we were playing our best basketball, it was tough to tell who was a point guard. People thought Jello was a point guard. Some people said Tyrese because of just kind of what we had played more there early. The reality was last year, Ethan was bringing the ball up more than anyone else. And so we want to get the ball up fast. We want to flow into offense, and that's going to come a lot with kick aheads, someone that can move the ball up the court quickly. And so Ellis is our traditional point guard, but we've got five guys that we're comfortable with. And as we get a little bit more fluid offensively, I think that'll continue to look a little bit better.
Jake Kyman has been playing really well last 4 games, averaging 17.5 points, shooting 64% from the three-point line, and he's just done a fantastic job in these games and back-to-back 25-point games for him.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. He's been doing it. I think for the last month or so in practice, he's really gotten more comfortable, and things don't always show right away. There's always that little bit of time where it doesn't click in games, and he's just getting more comfortable being a complete player. I think the last few stops he's been kind of cornered into that box of just being a shooter. And with us, we want him to be a player. We want him attacking the rim. We want him creating paint touches. And when he's aggressive like that, he's an unbelievable shooter.
That's one of the tough things, I think, in basketball is being the bench guy that is supposedly the zone buster, whatever you may call them, the guys they bring off the bench to come in and get hot right away from the three-point line because you're sitting there watching and it's like pinch hitting in baseball, but the pinch hitters in baseball nowadays can go back into the batting cages and take a few swings when the other team's at the plate in the bottom part of the inning or top part of the inning or whatever it is, and you can't do that as a shooter on the bench. If you're off in a practice gym and the coach says, hey, you get in the game, and you isn't down there, that's a problem.
It's a tough mindset. You got to be a little bit crazy, to be able to come in a game and just assume that you're hot, that you're knocking it down. And I think that's just a mindset that comes from a lot of time in the court, or a lot of time alone on the court. And, I think Jake's just getting comfortable in a new role, and it's exciting to see that.
All right, defensively, we talked about this a little bit ago, but I thought it was a very good game for the Eagles defensively. You mentioned earlier about contesting shots at the rim. You had 8 or 9 blocked shots in this ball game, but you held them under 40% from the field. They did make some threes on you, but overall, I thought the defense was really good on Saturday.
Yeah, we started to play to our identity. When you look at our numbers so far in this season, they haven't matched up with what our identity is, which is playing inside out, which is taking away, early paint touches with switches, and that just hasn't shown. This game we held them to 38%. We, like you said, 8 or 9 blocks. We had guys flying around and talking. I thought our IQ defensively was on point.
All right, so how important was this game just to get some success against, road success against a really good basketball team? I mean, you guys had lots of disappointments earlier in the season, but to get that success there on Saturday, what does that mean for the team going forward?
I think it's a big kind of sigh of relief, honestly, to go get a win against a team that's playing really good basketball. Everyone in this locker room knows how good we are and how good we can be. To start off 1-6 was not ideal. We put ourselves in a really tough position with the second hardest non-conference schedule in the country up to this point on Ken Palm. And so for us to go get a win and show that we can go do that and show that we're the team that we're capable of being, and that wasn't even us playing our best basketball. I mean, it means a lot to us, and I just want to come in with some momentum, these next few games and come into big sky play ready. At the end of the day, we're the defending champs. We've had a hell of a preseason schedule, and I think we're ready to peak at the right time and come into conference and let people know we're still here.
And you get another chance to do that on Wednesday night against Portland Bible College, and it'll be another game where you can, see a lot of different guys and get some guys some minutes, and especially let your bench players, continue their maturation because you've got a lot of young guys on your bench.
We got a special freshman class. We got a great group of guys. It's gonna be a fun game for everyone to hopefully come out and celebrate our guys before conference play.
Absolutely, and this is more about, again, you respect all opponents with Portland Bible College coming in, but this is more about you guys and just continuing the movement forward that you've had throughout this non-conference schedule that was very evident against Air Force, and you just want to continue the forward momentum, right?
Exactly. That's kind of the idea with this game is to keep our rhythm tight, and then we'll have a good week of practice where guys are done with finals now, and we got some good grades. Our guys are happy this morning. They did pretty well in school, and so that's just a good week for us to lock in.
All right, and then after that, 2 more road games next week. At Cal Poly on Monday, at Washington on Thursday. Obviously, Washington beat Gonzaga last Saturday, so Cal Poly will be a tough game on the road, but Washington's probably looking a little tougher than it was maybe a month ago.
Yeah, they're playing great ball over there at UW, and they've done a good job with that roster. They're playing together. But they're both going to be really fun games. That Cal Poly is going to be a fun game, too, for some of our California guys to get back home.
You've got Christmas coming up, so you got to try to keep everybody's mind on the eyes on the prize here a little bit, right? Because some of them, I'm sure, are looking forward to going home and getting to spend Christmas and seeing family and getting a couple or 3 days off. So but now that school is over and done with, it's really, especially next week and especially that Thursday game next week at Washington, you've got to, guys can't be looking forward to where they're going on Friday, right?
Oh yeah, that's always the concern in that last game before Christmas break. But I think our guys have learned that lesson. You got to come into every game with the fighter's mindset, or else we're playing good teams. UW's a hell of a team, and we got to come in ready.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks as always, and good luck on Wednesday against Portland Bible College.
All right, thanks, Larry. Go Eags.
Head coach David Riley there. Eagles against Portland Bible College, 6 o'clock on Wednesday night. Santa Swoop will be there. So you can have, if you're local in the area, come out, have the kids' picture or your picture or however you want to do it with Santa Swoop and take part of some great holiday hoops at Reese Court in Cheney. And tickets are available online. GoEags.com. Click on the tickets link. And then obviously the Eagles will be home after Christmas to start Big Sky Conference play on Thursday the 28th against Portland State, and Saturday the 30th against Sacramento State. I believe that's the the dates and the opponents on those games. So at any rate, goeags.com. Click on the tickets link for more information on men's and women's basketball tickets this year. All right, when we come back, we will wrap it up this week on TDS Fiber Flight Report here on the Eagle Sports Network from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, welcome back as we wrap up Flight Report for this week. We will not have a Flight Report next week because both teams will be on the road. The Eagle men will be at Cal Poly on Monday of next week and then traveling to Seattle to take on the University of Washington. The Eagle women will be heading down to Las Vegas to play in a tournament there against Presbyterian and Wyoming. We will be back right after Christmas as we will preview the Big Sky Conference season with both Coach Riley, Coach Gleason, and player guests. That'll be up sometime. I probably should get this cleared from Learfield and make sure somebody is in Missouri to put this thing up onto the interwebs. But at this point in time, as I'm speaking to you, we'll have a coach's show, or a flight report, I should say, presented by TDS Fiber coming up right after the Christmas holiday. What else is going on at Eastern? Well, the track and field teams started their competitions for the winter schedule on Saturday at the podium in Spokane. They got one winning performance. 9 Division I schools had teams at this meet, plus a bunch of other, Division II, Division III, NAIA, club track teams that have, high-level athletes. The podium is one of the best indoor track and field facilities in the entire country, and so a lot of schools, a lot of clubs and interests in track and field bring their top athletes up here to take part in this. So to get a win is something good, and Egypt Simmons did that in her first meet as an Eagle. She's a transfer who is a jumper, and she won the long jump competition and is just a matter of inches off the school record for longest long jump in school history. So that's Seville Broussard had that record back in 1999, so it's close to 25 years that record has been up there. So Egypt Simmons may well get that, so congratulations to her. Congratulations to Madeline Knight. She finished second in the 60-meter hurdles and is less than 1/10 of a second off the school record there, and she received the Big Sky Conference Track Athlete of the Week for women this week. They have a Track Athlete of the Week and a Field Athlete of the Week. Distinctions there. Field athlete, that's the throwers, the pole vaulters, I think even the jumpers are in that. And then the track athlete of the week is for the runners, the sprinters, the distance people, etc. So congratulations to Madeline Knight for a great performance as well last week. The Big Sky Conference put out their preseason track and field polls. The Eagle men picked to finish 5th. They were 4th last year. Eagle women predicted 6th. They were 7th. Last year. So, second year for Aaron Tucker, the director of track and field at EWU, following the retirements of Stan Kerr and Marcia Mecklenburg a couple of years ago. So we're looking forward to watching them this week as well. Again this week, Eagle basketball, men at home, Portland Bible College Wednesday night, 6 o'clock for that one on Red Reese Court. On the radio, 5:30 for the pregame show, 6 o'clock for the tip-off. Eagle women at Cal, that'll be on the Pac-12 networks on Friday morning at 11:30. So that's what's ahead for the Eagles this week. Thanks to head coach Joddie Gleason, thanks to women's player Milly Knowles, and to men's head coach David Riley this week. And thanks to you for listening, since we won't talk to you outside of game broadcasts until sometime after Christmas. Want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. If you celebrate anything, we wish you have a fantastic holiday. And if we don't talk to you until after the first of the year, a Happy New Year as well. I'm Larry Weir. This has been Flight Report, presented by TDS Fiber on the Eagle Sports Network from Learfield.
You've been listening to the EWU Athletics Flight Report, presented by TDS Fiber. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.